producer.
Oh, okay. Good.
So you can like call me up or whatever you want.
All right, whoever gets there first.
Yeah, just do your thing. We're live.
Hey, Steve. Hey, Jean.
So this first song I'm going to sing is it's about change, it's about transformation and just leaving a place in time. Don't you know that the shadows have grown long and low and it's time to go? Go around at your crowd of friends, wondering if you'll ever see them again. Lucky few who've made it through your walls and masks, and they know you. Knowing you're strong, when you're stubborn and weak, knowing you just need a friend to speak. Know that you're scared, but you never admit it. Know your last spins, how to reel you back in. Just wait a little longer, you say, oh, I am ready. No, no, I'm not ready. Ready to go. Place for the part of me. Does that thought die when I leave? The hours and days and the seconds of life with the people I love disappear all night. The memories I thought one day we could do, bodies and laughs and friendships soon. Did you tell that we're nearing the end? This moment in time, oh my friends, it's time to go. But just wait a little longer, you say, oh, it's time to go. But hold up for a moment, you say, oh, I am ready. No, I'm not ready. Oh, I'm ready. No, I'm not ready. Ready to go. Ready to go. Ready to go. Ready to go. You on my side, singing to me a little while. You know I don't do goodbyes. We'll just say till next time. On occasion, I've been known to lie. If you ask, I'm just fine. The people who have shared this sign are any strangers from another life. No, I won't forget your faces, the silent smirks, and your warm embraces, friends and family. Made these places what they are. You can never erase this. So I'm ready. No, I'm not ready. Oh, I'm ready. No, I'm not ready. Ready to go. Ready to go. Ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Yes, that is Stephen Tarsitano. Thank you, Stephen. Stephen is also our Kundalini yoga teacher. So every fourth Tuesday of the month, we do yoga, Kundalini yoga on Zoom, which is really great. If you want to join us in anything that's happening at our center, because we really are here to support you and to support your spiritual awakening, your spiritual evolution, you want to go to our website. It's cslmorristown.org. There's lots of events, and even better, you want to sign up for our newsletter, because we send out a newsletter every week with updated workshops, classes, events. Those of you who are here today, be sure to take a look at the back table, because there are 3 new flyers of new offerings that we have on Zoom. One of them is with Michael and 2 with me. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. All those who showed up in person at Center for Spiritual Living Morristown, is always really precious to have your energy in the room, to have you be here, be present. And of course, those of you who are virtual, meaning that any day, anywhere, at any time, anywhere in the future, you'll be able to see this and to be spiritually nourished. So we're very grateful that we get to be together. And there's, I think it's Spider-Man? No, Batman? No.
Captain America.
Captain America. I'm totally not a Marvel aficionado. So Captain America is in the house. All right, so I have to grab my piece of paper. I have to buzz over to my piece of paper. All right. Even got flowers delivered this week. Isn't it sweet? They're so pretty. They must have known I was going to be a bee today. And this is from little Joni over there. That little bee. Yes. So our theme for the year is still timeless wisdom and evolutionary vision. For October, the last day in October, it's going further together. And today the topic is welcome home to your divine community. And what I want to explore today is this whole idea that Halloween is a fun holiday, right? I didn't grow up with it. I grew up with Carnival, which is like Mardi Gras, which is crazy, but not spooky. But it's still really fun to get dressed up, and I know many of you, it's your favorite holiday. So we're exploring where Halloween really came from, because as you know, most of what we see today is represented by something that's more in the distant past. And then we're going to explore this idea of looking beyond the masks and looking beyond the costumes, literally and figuratively, where we want to arrive at the essence of life, the truth of life. So my name is Frankie Timmers, and I am just really grateful to be of service today. We have Susan Niedt, who is a practitioner in Princeton serving us today, so she'll come up in a little bit and walk you through a spiritual practice so that you can experience that divine essence that you are. If you are online, we're so grateful that you're witnessing us. Stick with us and experience all of it. I know it's easy when we're online to go flitter from one place to another, but then we never really get the depth and the juiciness of the message, right? So if you are on Facebook, say hello, make a comment, make a request, use the bubbles, all that good stuff. And if you're on YouTube, you can also make comments, and you can also watch us later. So, what we always do in our community, I wanted to show you this. Stephen is not only our beautiful musician today, but he's part of a beautiful musical team, a band called Dream Alchemy, and he's got CDs. So check him out on the internet. Dream Alchemy is some beautiful music. And I have Science of Mind magazine for November if anybody wants to purchase that. All right, so what we always do in our community with opening and closing is the spiritual mind treatment, which is our word for affirmative prayer. So I invite you to close your eyes as a way to withdraw your attention from the outer world and turn into your heart of hearts. And here we instantly experience the availability of the purity of our being, our heart of hearts, our spirit, our essence, God, divine grace, whatever we call it. It is that which is changeless, ever available, ever giving. It is the purest of loves and peace and grace and joy and health and happiness. And the more we go there, the more we commune with this, the more it is showing up in our experience. It's that alchemical process of embodiment, of awakening to our true nature, of trusting that we have everything we need. And so today we celebrate this by being the presence of God in form, by being a witness to one another, to celebrating our spiritual community, our beautiful teaching, and the life we get to live, which is such a privilege. So with awe and gratitude, we open our minds, our hearts, our bodies, and our souls to each other, to the message of our teaching, to the music, to the space, and to the joy that is ever available to us. And so it is.
So it is.
So, Halloween is not a holiday that I have loved. Not sure why, probably because I didn't grow up with it, and probably because I don't like anything spooky. I don't like scary movies. It just like, I don't need it. But I have fun, and I love to see the kids come to the house in their costumes. I remember one year, a kid knocked on the door when I was kind of grumpy about Thanksgiving, and I said, "You don't get any candy because you didn't dress up." And he said, "What do you mean I didn't dress up?" He was wearing jeans, a white t-shirt, and a little cap. And he says, "I did too." And I said, "What did you dress up as?" And he says, "An undercover cop," which was very clever. The true meaning of Halloween, which the reason Halloween is purely out of consumerism. It was created so that we could consume more of what we don't really need, and yes, to celebrate creativity. But that's what it came out of, because at the time, way back when, the Celtic holiday of Samhain is the holiday when the awareness of the veil between life and death being very thin. It's the Celtic New Year. It's the ending of one phase and the beginning of a new phase. It's the movement from darkness to light, from death to rebirth. And so then it was called Hallowmas or Hallows. The Christian religion swooped in and called it All Saints' Day or All Souls' Day, and it's all connected. And the same with the Latin American communities that celebrate El Dia de los Muertos. It's the celebration of life and death really as one. The oneness of all life being celebrated. And it's very much the celebration that what we believe in our teaching, that there is no separation between life and death. It's all life. That the veil becoming thin is how we live as students of this teaching all the time. And so it was Rumi who said, out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in the grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. And that, of course, was written by the poet Rumi in the 1200s. It's still true for us today that the symbolism of this particular holiday is the symbolism that there is no separation. There is no right or wrong. There is no good and bad. There is no right doing, wrong doing. There is no life and death. It's all connected. It's all the one life. And we are so privileged. We are so privileged to be part of a spiritual community. We're so privileged to have been exposed to a spiritual technology that has been around since the beginning of time, that Dr. Ernest Holmes happened to put into the Science of Mind teaching, but it's based on the ancient principles of life. We're so privileged to be able to come together, which in some countries or some areas of the country is not even possible. We're so privileged to being exposed to the ideas that God is all there is, love is all there is, truth is all there is, and it's already within us. It's already available. And we're so privileged to have been given the gift to live that, each of us, in our own unique way. And I feel so privileged to be of service to this community for almost 29 years, which I know is hard to believe, right? So it's the idea that we get to come together and support one another to experience not only our essential nature, but to express that in such a beautiful, free way. And then to take that into the world, because the whole idea is that we're here in service, as a divine being to the world. So how do we serve knowing that privilege, having that gift, having that awareness? So today, when you're looking at all the costumes, remember to look a little deeper and to know that behind the costume, there is the purity of spirit revealing itself uniquely through each and every one of us. And so I love this idea that for us, the veil is always thin. I love this idea that what we get to experience and what we get to live and practice is this idea that there is no separation. No separation between you and I. There's no separation between what we see in the world and what is the purity of our being. There's no separation between the contraries and the diversity of life underneath there being the truth. We're always dancing on that edge. I know I am when I forget that life is, everything is connected, that there's only the oneness of all life. Whether I'm in traffic, or I'm arguing with somebody, or I forget who I really am, or I look at the world news, or I think about what's happening to our planet and to those who are suffering and not as privileged as we are. Each time that I see a sense of separation, it's the invitation for me to stand on that edge and to remember both ends. So that's our growing edge, right? The world is always showing us our growing edge. It's where I experience myself as separate from my divinity, separate from you, separate from the person who is begging in the street, separate from the one who is addicted, separate from those who are suffering, separate from our planet. That's my growing edge, where I feel separate, where I feel blocked, where I don't experience my divinity. And so that growing edge is something to be welcomed. Because the tendency for us is when we go into right-doing, wrong-doing thinking, when we feel separate, when we see separation, it is the opportunity to heal, to expand our consciousness, to remember that the light, the love of God is all there is, and to seek for it, to look deeper, to remember that what we see in the world is a symbol of something deeper. We're always in this teaching moving beyond the field of wrongdoing and right doing. Always. So we get to explore our beliefs, right? Where do I not experience that? Where do I experience separation? Where do I experience right, wrong, good, bad, dark, light, black, white? And how can I stand in that long enough, in that uncomfortable place long enough, so that spirit reveals to me a greater idea, a greater truth, a greater experience that's already available to me. So that means that we have to explore our beliefs. And spiritual community is perfect for that, because this is a microcosm of the macro. Sometimes people say, well, in spiritual community, we shouldn't not like someone. We shouldn't judge. Well, we do, because we're human. It's part of our experience. But in spiritual community, it is safe to explore that. It is safe to look a little bit deeper. It is safe to heal that. Because the space is all about love and acceptance. And if we're not experiencing that, it's not because it isn't there. It's because it's a living laboratory where we can open to that and have a different experience. I remember clearly being in my very first class in a community like this and looking at the people around me and looking at my judgments about the people around me and noticing who I was more attracted to and who repelled me. And to really explore that, because my teacher really asked us to think about the environment we were in a class as not just the class being a way to explore our growing edge, but the experience of being with others. And so in spiritual community, we have the opportunity then to heal where we feel separate, to heal that experience of being blocked, to embrace it, have compassion for it. And so in spiritual community then, the deepest needs can literally be fulfilled. I meet so many people that say, I feel so lonely. And I say, well, come. And I know with COVID, everything has changed. But come and be part of the spiritual community and give and receive and connect and open up and explore what you're thinking, what you're believing, how you're feeling, what gets triggered, and allow that to be dissolved. Because the intention for us is to support and to create a community of connection and to celebrate each of our talents and gifts and our own woundedness. It's not that anyone is responsible to heal your woundedness. You're responsible for that. But the beauty is that you can stand in that and know that it's possible, that healing is possible. So we teach that love is all there is. That means there's no veil. There's no veil of lack of love. There's no veil of fear. There's no veil of hatred. There's no veil of anger. There's just love. And so I get to say to myself, if love is all there is, then where am I resistant to receiving that love, to allowing that in, to welcome it, to feel it, to let it go to every nook and cranny of my being. Brené Brown says that we are wired to love. We are wired to be loved. We are wired to experience a sense of belonging. We're wired for that. That's our nature. So you might notice when you go around in the world where you feel that level of resistance. And then open to the possibility of healing that. So the invitation then is for us to live that which is the most real. To live that which is the most real, capital R-E-A-L. And what that means to you. I know what it means to me. To me, it means to live my inherent nature instead of my ego nature. To live Liz love instead of to live my fears, my worries, my anxieties. I notice them. I'm aware of them. And I can use them and work with them to dissolve the separation. But I need to keep coming back to knowing that love is the only thing that's real. Truth is the only thing that's real. My divine nature is the only thing that's real. And so we explore the appearances as facts, but we keep moving beyond to the truth. Ernest Holmes says we must transcend the appearance, even though we admit it's a fact. We are not so cold-blooded as to say to a person with pain that there's no such thing as pain. We admit the fact. It's quite different to admit its necessity. It's quite different to admit its necessity. Disease, accordingly, is a fact, but not a truth. So separation may be a fact in our human experience, but it's not the truth. And so we turn to the truth, capital T, to that which is the most real, the part of us that doesn't change, our spiritual nature, our essence. We transcend our appearance by what Emma Curtis Hopkins called looking up. That's in a way a very Christian term, right? When we believe God is outside of us. But there is something about the practice that Emma presents to us that's very powerful. I did a practice in a class recently with this idea of looking up, which really just means to look from a bird's eye view, to look from a higher perspective, to have a higher point of view, to go to that which is real. So let's practice that for a moment. Think of something in your life that's challenging you. An area in your life where you feel the appearance is real, capital R-E-A-L. So it could be an illness, it could be experience of loneliness, it could be experience of lack, loss, limitation. You keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. And then look down into your lap. When you think about that issue, just look down. And think about that issue, that thing you want to heal for a moment. And then look forward and just allow something in you to open, to empty. Let go of the thought about the thing you want to heal, you don't want to experience anymore. And now look up and think about what's possible, what truth wants to be revealed, what wants to be healed. Just be open to that. If you think about it, in most spiritual traditions, if you see art, you see the person looking up, right? So let's do it one more time. Just think about something that's happening in the world that breaks your heart. Whether it's hunger, war, human trafficking, child abuse, disease, climate change. Think of one thing. Look down when you think about it. Let yourself feel it. Look forward. Let go of the thought. Create space inside your consciousness. And then look up. And allow yourself to see what's possible, what's real, capital R-E-A-L. See, that's just a simple practice that we can do. So, I wish you a happy Halloween. I love that some of you got dressed up. It's so fun. But remember, today is a really good day to make it more meaningful. To have it be the experience of something symbolic. That the masks we wear and the costumes we wear are not just the costumes we're wearing today as dressed up, but that as a human being, our humanness is a costume, is a mask. And it's hiding, maybe protecting our true nature, our essential nature. And so we want to not only experience our essential nature, but we want to be able to see that in everybody else. And so that's the true meaning, that we are souls, and that we're having human experience as a way to learn, to grow, and to evolve. And now, we're going to have some more music with Stephen.
So as Frankie was speaking, I was thinking about how to announce this song. So this is a bit of what I'm wrestling with now. So I think it would be my leading edge and what I'm processing. So it's coming through in this song. It's a protest song against tyranny. And it's an acknowledgement of, the essential nature of who we are. It might push you a little bit. I hope you enjoy it. The storm is here. The fight is clear. The sky turns black. Lightning, rain, thunder back. The same story, it's as old as glory of the powerful try to crush the weak. They push you back and they take all you had again. You're right to sleep. Some brothers, some children against fathers and make you the enemy. Some is here. The fight is here. The sky is black. Lightning, rain, thunder, the soldiers fought hard for the freedom that we have now, so stop giving it back. It's all the bloodshed is in vain if you play dead and just wait for this storm to pass. Cause the wind is blowing and the storm is going, so get up, go for grass. And stand with me now, we'll fight for freedom, remember the past. And we'll take our lessons from the King, Martin Luther, Malcolm X, Alice Paul, going hungry and fond of burning. This is how you fight tyranny. The soldiers fought hard for freedom that we have now, to stop the giving and back. Instead of bloodshed and vain, if you played it in this way, the storm pass. The wind is blowing and the storm is going, so get up, look for the wrath. Stand with me now and fight for freedom, remember the past. And we'll take our lessons from the King, the Chief. Thomas More, Rosa Parks, riding proud and glorious, Steinem rallying. This is how you fight tyranny. With you and me, will you stand in solidarity? Draw a line in the sand and say that I am free. You ain't gonna take any more from me. Will you stand in solidarity? Draw a line in the sand and say that we are free. Ain't gonna take any more from me. Thank you.
I'm gathering my props.
Yeah. No tripping.
No tripping. It's always a privilege to be here. So thank you for being here, that I could be here, sharing our love and light together. Reverend Frankie said that we're wired for love. Brene Brown said that. I'm wired for light. And notice the veil is thin. Well, I have a prop here. It's my Halloween costume. It's my magician costume. Well, there's the bottom, but it's okay. So this is my costume when I'm Dracula or a magician. And we wear costumes. Let's say this is the costume of fear. And it is blocking our light, but we remove that veil and we still have the light. And I think that is such an important thing to remember. It's just like the metaphor of the sun being blocked by the cloud. So we wear our blocks as costumes sometimes. Sometimes of fear, anger, judgment. But the light is always there. And Reverend Frankie and I have a little message for you. Don't want my notes to fall down. Are you ready? Do you get it?
Love it.
Be the light. That was fun. Thank you for laughing, too. I mean, sometimes those jokes take a while to sink in. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that little dance together in a guided meditation. The dance of our truth and releasing the veils of untruth. So I invite you to right now find that space where you can be comfortable, where you can feel support as support is ever present. And close your eyes. And just feel the you that you are. Just feel the you that you are. That God is expressing right here and now. And take a nice, deep breath of spirit. And release the breath. And you're going to spend some time at your own beautiful divine rhythm of breathing in that sense of love and light, all the gifts that God has to give, all the gifts that we are, and sometimes we forget. And every time you let that breath out, it's your opportunity to release any errors of disbelief. Maybe release the belief in anger. Release the belief of dis-ease. So spend some time in the light of truth, with this wonderful opportunity to breathe the life of God, the life of good, and release any veils, thin the veil, so that your light can shine. Feel the light. Every breath creates more space for more light to shine. Every exhalation thins the veil so the light can shine out. Breathe that peace in. And exhale any belief in turmoil. Breathe that love in. And exhale any belief in fear. Sit with that breath and let that light indwell. Feel the warmth of the light from your toes through your fingertips. Feel that warmth. That is the warmth of God's love. That is the warmth of eternal love. That is your true nature. So as you sit in this light, in this warmth, in this feeling of peace, I'm going to read some words in the first person that you can take them in as your own. Light shines by means of me. I am light, and allow my light to shine forth in its full splendor. I am light. I eternally glow. I open my heart and breathe into my oneness with God, with Spirit, and allow the presence of Spirit to shine its light in me, as me, and through me. Me, the beautiful individualized expression of life. My path is illumined, and as I walk on this path, my light shines for all mankind. I am the light of the world. And so I speak these words for each one here, present or virtually, for all mankind, that we know the truth. And that truth is that life is all there is. Life with a capital L is expressing itself as all things seen and unseen, and that life is eternal. It is an eternal light that is shining on all. That good is ever present. That the veil is thin and thinner and thinning every moment of our beautiful journey in this spiritually made body. And that therefore through this veil the light is still shining as the bright, beautiful beings that we are. And we express this light, and we accept our truth, and we move throughout the day today and the rest of the week and the rest of our eternal life, living in this truth. This truth that is our freedom of God and all of its divine properties expressing as each one of us to live the joyous life, the light of life. And with gratitude and love, I speak these words knowing that that is our truth, and that is the truth of all, the light, the life, the truth, the peace, the harmony, and this joy that we get to express in this wonderful spiritually created body that we call you and me. And we sit in our unity with each other in this gratitude of knowing this truth. And we all say together, and so it is. And so it is that now, thank you for that opportunity, I present Steve, who is going to give us a fun Halloween tune. So enjoy.
Is Jeff will going down.
Yeah.
I'm not going to introduce this one. So we'll let it go. It might sound familiar at first, then things will probably change. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Out is old here, older than the trees. Heaven on the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place where I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads. not really the right words though. So let me try that again. Why don't the villagers like me? Oh, why are they so frightened? Are they calling a monster and a demon? But I am just Dracula. I'm quite spectacular. And I can fly, and I'll never die. Thank you.